Greetings humanity, and welcome to Channel Other Doc. I'm Jim, I use he, him pronouns, and today we're playing a one-shot of A Penny for My Thoughts, a game by Paul Tevis, in which we'll all be playing patients in a therapy session who are suffering from amnesia. This is a story game. We all sort of slowly go around and figure out the stories of our characters as we go, kind of like For the Queen in that respect. It's been a couple of years since I've done that on this channel, and I figured it was time to do it again. So let's go ahead and go around and say hi to everybody, find out who they are, and a favorite thing that they've read recently, because there is a lot of reading in this game, as you're going to discover shortly. So we are going to start right over here with Danielle. Hello.
Hello, my name is Danielle. I use she, they pronouns. And right now, I am actually reading through the Wheel of Time series. Very, very interesting. I'm on book 6, I think it is. There's like 14 of them. So just around halfway through. So super exciting.
Excellent. Awesome. Cool. And now let us head over to Kacy. Hello.
Hi, I'm Kacy. I use she, her pronouns, and recently I just read Thirsty by Madeline Miller, and it's a great retelling of a classic story that I advise everybody to check out.
Excellent. Awesome. I can say I do not get to read as often as I would like these days, but I think lately I have gone back to trying to catch up with the last couple of Dresden Files audiobooks. So that's kind of the most recent narrative thingy that has entered my brain in that respect. Aside from that, it's all RPG books at the moment. But excellent. So we're going to go ahead and get started here. But first, just as a reminder to everyone, like we do with other games on this channel, we're going to be using the X card, the N card, and the O card. So if we hit something that's crossing a line for one of us, any of us can type an X in the Zoom video chat or anywhere else, or hold up a card, make an X symbol, and we'll go back and do something else. If something happens that we're okay having in the game, but we don't want a graphic description of it, we can type an N in the Zoom chat and we'll fade to black on it or put it behind a veil, so it'll be there, but we won't go into detail. And finally, if we're exploring a topic or an area of roleplay that's particularly intense for us, but we want to keep going anyway, then we can put an O in the chat to let us know we're okay and that we're all good to keep piling on the drama. Something else we can do is put an O with a question mark after it when we're moving into a difficult topic, or if we say or we do something and then think, maybe that might have been a little too much, then everyone else can respond to that, again with an X, an N, or an O to let folks know that we're still doing okay. We're also using the pause. If any of us needs to take some time, we can ask for a pause in the game while we discuss things, or just take a break for as long as anyone needs. Let me just briefly mention the content warnings for this particular game. This game has the potential for discussions of drug use, memory loss, mental illness, personal trauma, self-destructive thoughts, support groups, and therapy. You can actually see that in the chat if you type !penny CW. And that will be showing up regularly as we're sort of rolling through. It'll basically, it's on a timer. It'll show up from time to time. Also, please remember we have an open door policy, which means any of us and any of you can feel free to step away from this at any time if we need to. It is just a game, and mental health is always more important. So, the way this game goes, it's actually so when this was written back in 2009 by Paul Tevis. At the time, he does things with businesses nowadays. At the time he was doing a little bit more sort of involved with games. He used to do a podcast. I think it was called Have Games Will Travel. He was very interested in improv, and so that's where a lot of the roots of this particular thing come from. He sort of tried to marry improv to therapy ideas and use that as a way to kind of help to do a narrative where you're drawing memories out of someone. Now, it's been about like 13 years since that time. So there are a couple of little things that we've updated, which we'll get into as we go. But one of the cool things about this is that it's really, you just start reading. You have one person who's designated as the reader. I'm going to be the reader. And we'll sort of explain the whole process. And that sort of, it teaches you the game as you go. And so, like I said, we made a few adjustments, so I may back up and make some corrections as we go, but we'll jump on those when we come to them. Okay. So it's as though the patients are sort of reading a document that's been handed to them written by Dr. Peter Tompkins. And it says, "My name is Dr. Peter Tompkins, and although I am supervising your treatment, you do not remember me. Indeed, due to your unusual circumstances, you remember very little. This is understandably confusing, but I hope you will keep an open mind about what I have to say. You are a patient at the Orphic Institute for Advanced Studies, where I oversee your case. We are a private research hospital dedicated to the treatment of disorders that traditional medicine has deemed incurable. Recently, you suffered a traumatic shock that caused a rare form of memory loss called profound retrograde amnesia. In other words, you experienced a total loss of memory. You have no conscious recollection of your life prior to this event. Although we have had remarkable success in treating many forms of amnesia, your particular case has proven intractable. We at the Institute believe that this trauma was caused by some action on your part, and your mind has created a barrier as a way of protecting you. On an unconscious level, your own mind is unwilling to let itself heal. We, that is, you and I, had discussed various possible treatments, and you decided that your only option was an experimental drug called Nemosine. This chemical creates a connection between the unconscious minds of those who take it. In essence, it allows someone else access to your memories. This connection is very weak, and if a healthy mind were to try to see into yours, your memories would be drowned out by that person's own experiences. In the case of someone with severe memory loss, however, the mind is quiet enough to hear the echoes of another. To take advantage of this, we have developed a treatment in which patients with your condition help each other recover their memories. Upon deciding to undergo the procedure, you were kept at the Institute until 2 to 4 additional patients, in this case there's 2 additional patients, with similar conditions could be found to assemble a therapy group. The treatment also required removing the memories you had built while at the Institute, which is why you do not remember me or any of our conversations. For that, I apologize. If we are successful, however, this small amount of confusion will have been more than worthwhile. You are now ready to begin what we believe will be an effective cure for your amnesia. If all goes well, you will remember everything about your life." And they say, "A word of caution before we continue. You must understand that whatever you did in your past is in the past. You do not have control over what has gone before. As the treatment progresses, you may discover that the person you were does not match your expectations. Indeed, the person you were may turn out to be someone you do not now wish to be. The cause of your trauma might be something accidental that you blame yourself for, but it might be some intentional act you undertook with full knowledge of the consequences. You may feel at times that the other patients have control over your past. That is not true. Your fellow patients will reveal the person you were. While you do not have control over that person, you do control how you feel about it and what sort of person you will be after today." It then goes into the structure of the text, which we don't need to read through right now. And we'll now get into the treatment procedure. And this is the part where we're going to sort of be hopping back and forth a little bit as we sort of figure out kind of what it is. And this, the first time through is always a little bit of a demo, as it were. So to make this procedure as simple as possible, the instructions are designed to be read aloud right away without reading the entire chapter before proceeding. Choose one person to be your group's reader. Beginning with the next section, the reader will follow the reading instructions to direct you through the treatment. If you wish, however, you may read the entire chapter before beginning. This text also includes, we don't need to worry about that. There are samples in here, which I'm not going to read. There are also, for those of you following along in your hymnals, there are appendices at the end that also have summaries of some of this stuff, basically, if you need that. And I'm going to skip over gather your belongings, because we've got all the stuff we need. Okay. So these directions, you see where you are going. These directions use the metaphor of a journey to help you understand the treatment. Think of the process of self-discovery as a trip to a familiar but distant land, one you haven't visited in a long time. If your treatment is a journey, the two documents provided are a guide to your surroundings. The first is a collection of facts and reassurances. We recognize that someone in your state needs certain guarantees about how the world works. You should refer to this document throughout the treatment so as not to lead yourself or your fellow patients astray, which we might get into here depending on if it comes up in the text. The second document is the questionnaire. Each of its sections provides a sense of direction for a trip into your past. You will fill it out over the course of the session. Take time to review both documents now, and so we look over those. Let me see. I think I am going to real quick go over the facts and reassurances just so that folks will know sort of what the setting is, which will involve hopping through to the appendices real quick. While Mnemosyne helps to break down the barriers between your mind and the minds of your fellow patients, it also weakens the barriers between the compartments of your mind. Memories, dreams, books, movies, all of these may mix together. To help you distinguish fact from fiction, we've prepared this guide to the world you live in. You may treat the following statements about the world as true. It is the early 21st century. Technology, cars, planes, computer networks, mobile phones, etc., has not advanced beyond your hazy familiarity with it, nor has humanity been thrown into a new dark age. Maybe debatable slightly, but we'll see. That's the outside world. We don't need to worry about that right now. The world is a mundane place. Its wonders and terrors come from a simple and personal things, like the birth of a child or the death of a loved one. Rest assured that you are not haunted by spirits, nor are you tormented by aliens. You are a normal, everyday person. This isn't to say that you might not be a remarkable individual, but feats like leaping across rooftops or reading people's minds are simply impossible. You are not an action hero, nor are you a Greek god. Your condition was caused by a physiological or psychological trauma surrounding events in your personal life. It was not caused by a shadowy government conspiracy or similar organization. And that's actually, just as I was looking at the last one, it was like, free running hadn't become popular yet on the internet, had it, at that time? But anyway. So, those are the basic facts and reassurances. Let me hop now back to where we were. And we're going to go ahead and get our treatment going. So the first thing, what we've done already, we have, as you've noted, we have these, as has been noted in the in our documents here. We have these forms that you all should be able to see. That basically is the little questionnaire where we're each going to be recalling 3 memories: a pleasant memory, an unpleasant memory, and how it is that you finally you suffered memory loss. And so we're going to use pennies to kind of symbolize the decision points along those different journeys as we're remembering. So let me go ahead and pull this back up here. Here we go. We've written out memory triggers or memory prompts, and we did this ahead of time. It says to take a few minutes to clear your thoughts. You may be disturbed by your situation, but it's important to remain calm and relaxed through the treatment. We recommend dimming the lights and making yourself comfortable. As you do this, try to open your mind to the thoughts of your fellow patients. The dose of Mnemosyne you have been given will allow you to connect with their minds. As the drug begins to take effect, you will catch glimpses of memories. While these brief flashes might seem to be from your own mind, and indeed some may be, it is more likely that they are from the minds of the other patients. We call what you are seeing memory, in this case, memory prompts. These are people, places, objects, feelings, or sensations that are strongly associated with a particular incident. You will use them as the starting points for your memories, and they give some examples. It says to write them down on slips of paper. We've got cards that we're going to be drawing. That we went ahead and did all that ahead of time. So we each wrote up some memory prompts, and they're there ready for us. Now, distribute pennies to patients. Next, each patient will take a penny from the bowl. Every time you take a penny from the bowl, it's basically they have a ritualized phrase. If you would like to say a penny for my thoughts as you take it, but we're not requiring any of that. The pennies in front of you represent your ability to recall your lost memories. In your current state, it is impossible for you to remember even the simplest series. I don't know why this line cracks me up. Even the simplest series of events. However, as you and your fellow patients help each other, the complexity of what you recall will increase. And so we each take a penny from the bowl.
Take a penny, leave a penny. I told you I was going to say it.
I never make it to... My penny never makes it to my sheet. Okay, here we go. Let me go ahead and put it up there. Oh yeah, let me go ahead and delete these faux memories. These are false memories that I implanted there yesterday. Let me get rid of those. The other day. So that my sheet is pristine, as empty as my mind. So let's see. So as you complaints, okay. So we did that. The reader will now give his or her penny to another patient, saying, "I will help you remember." The reader may choose who receives it by any means he or she wishes. The person chosen will be the first traveler, a role described in the next step. When this step is complete, the reader will have no pennies, one patient will have two, and the remaining patients will have a single penny each. So I will now ask who would like to go first.
I can go first.
Thank you
Okay.
for your sacrifice.
You good? You good with that? All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you want me to take your penny since you have issues bringing it over?
I shall hand it unto you, as if by magic. There it is.
Oh, look at that.
It will happen. All right. So that bit's been done. The patient with 2 pennies is now the traveler, the name we give to the patient undertaking a journey into memory. The other patients are guides and will help the traveler recall their memory. You will change roles throughout the process, and each patient will be the traveler 3 times during the treatment. Then there's a section that I'm supposed to skip called Choosing Subsequent Travelers, and we'll come back to that when we choose another traveler. And we are preparing for the trip. To start the journey into memory, draw a memory prompt from the container. The memory prompt is connected to what you are about to recall. Read it aloud and show it to the guides. Let them absorb it through the sound of your voice and the shape of the letters on the paper. Yes, Dan, yeah, go ahead.
I can't drag it any... Oh, wait. I'm on the wrong thing. There we go.
Cool.
The sound of a ticking clock in a hospital waiting room.
Okay. So at this point, each guide will ask a yes or no question about the traveler's memory, called a guiding question. The guides now have a much better connection to the traveler's mind than they did when they wrote down the memory triggers. What they see will be accurate, but it also lacks an important detail. Therefore, the traveler must answer each guiding question, and in this case, again, you can answer it. Well, here's the thing, though. Because we are still maintaining safety here, you can answer it with yes, and, or you can say no, and then we'll come up with another question, because that'll be perfectly fine. The guiding questions establish the context of the memory prompt and the starting point for the memory. They help the traveler begin the journey by clarifying the circumstances surrounding it and the importance of the things that are revealed in it. The reader will ask an additional guiding question of the first traveler. For subsequent travelers, any guide who is given a penny to that patient during the Choose a Traveler phase will ask an additional guiding question. The traveler chooses the order in which the guide asks these questions. Stop here until all of the guiding questions have been asked and answered. So, Danielle, you get to say which one of us asks you a guiding question.
I will go ahead and have you ask me a guiding question first.
Okay. Let's see. We have the sound of a ticking clock in a hospital waiting room. That's a very specific memory prompt. Let's see. It's weird because I want to ask an open-ended question, but it has to be yes, no.
Yeah.
Let's see. All right. Feel free to knock this down if you want to go in a different direction. Were you waiting for someone to be finished with their appointment?
Yes. I was waiting for my sister to finish her first surgery. She had just become a doctor.
Ooh, nice. Okay. Now you can solicit. Yeah.
Okay, so I ask now. Was she excited to be done with this surgery?
Yes, but she was still stressed because, of course, it was her first surgery, but she definitely was excited to finally be in her field of surgery.
Then I guess it comes back to me since the reader asks two questions. And remember, we're steering toward this being a happy memory. With 2 decision points. So let's see. Did it take a little longer than you were expecting?
No, and
Okay.
I was actually excited that she was able to get out faster than she thought she was.
Okay, cool. Do you want me to ask a replacement question, or do you think that's enough to...
No.
Okay, cool.
No.
Awesome. All right. Let's see, next. We asked the questions. We've asked the questions. Take the trip, it says. Begin the journey. So, once you have answered each of the guiding questions, let what you have learned fill your mind. The memory trigger and the guiding questions from the beginning of the story you're about to tell. To return to the travel metaphor, the memory prompt and guiding questions are not the journey, but what happens before you set out. If you were asked, did someone die, then the memory would begin after that person's death, for example. These details and events are what you are reacting to in your memory. Your memory will begin with a brief narrative explaining how the answers to the guiding questions tie together. The connections may be obvious, but reinforcing them is important. This introduction, however, is a prelude to your memory, so keep it brief. Don't get caught up in telling the guides about what they already know and delay your journey unnecessarily. To do this, close your eyes and free yourself from your surroundings. You may find it helpful to lie down, either on the furniture provided or on the floor. Let your mind leave your companions behind and travel to the beginning of the memory you are trying to recall. When you are ready, tell us, I remember a time when, and begin recounting the lost memory just as you would tell it to a child or to old friends you have not seen in years. So it says here to stop here until the traveler has begun the memory and explained how the answers to the guiding questions form its starting point. And so this is before recalling other stuff, basically.
Yeah. So I remember a time when I went to the hospital to surprise my sister after her first surgery. She was definitely nervous and excited because this was her first time, kind of going it alone. She got the surgery done a lot faster than she thought she would. And she was definitely surprised to see me there. I brought her favorite dish, like her favorite food, but I can't remember what it was.
Okay. So we are describing the path. You are now ready for the heart of the treatment process, the actual recollection of one of your memories. This will proceed in an iterative fashion, with your description of what you remember alternating with stops for help from the guides. While telling the story, you will be able to describe many of the details of your memory, such as what other people did or said, how you felt, or what you thought or wanted. The process of recounting these details and incidents is straightforward. Simply tell your fellow patients what you see as you travel through your memory. There is a barrier, however, between your present self and your pre-trauma self that prevents you from recalling your own actions. Your amnesia is a result of something you did or said, and your mind has constructed this blockage as a self-defense mechanism. As you tell the story, you will be unable to see anything about your own actions or words. You will be able to sense in your memory where these moments occur, as you will encounter a blank spot and a sense of resistance. The only way you can regain your memory is to confront these choices and their consequences. This is where your fellow patients, as the guides, will help you. When you reach these key points in your memory, you will use your pennies to ask for guidance, described in the following section. Each piece of guidance will cost you a penny. After receiving this help from your guides, you will continue telling the story, stopping again when you reach another decision point. When you run out of pennies, your memory will be at an end. This isn't to say that absolutely everything you did or said is blocked from you. You will likely be able to remember on your own details of no consequence, like paying for a cup of coffee or thanking someone holding a door for you. It is precisely because these actions have no consequence that you can remember them. If at any point you begin to describe important actions you took, the guides should ask, "Are you sure?" Keep in mind that they can see what you did more clearly than you can. Your mind will only let you see the consequences of your choices, not the choices themselves. If the guides point out that you are trying to describe them, stop and ask for guidance. Now, starting from where you left off, tell us what you remember, stopping when you reach a point where you did or said something. And it says to stop here until the traveler is at a point where the memory where he or she where they need to ask for guidance. Do you want to do that, or do you want me to continue on the next section? How do you feel about that?
We'll go ahead and ask for guidance on what I made my sister.
Okay. So asking for guidance. Now that you have reached a point in your memory where you did or said something, hold out one of your pennies in a closed fist to one of the guides and ask, "What did I do or say then?" You must use... you don't have to use that exact phrase. The guide will take a moment to look into your memory, and then will describe in a sentence or two what it is that they see. This description is called guidance, and it describes what you did or said. Mnemosyne gives the guides keen insight into your lost memory and allows them to transcend your trauma. Due to the difficulty in peering deeply into your innermost memories, however, their vision is not perfect. Any number of false images might appear in your mind. Childhood hopes and dreams, jumbled memories of other events, even snippets from works of fiction. As a safeguard against the possibility of error, you will ask a second guide to help you. Once the first guide is spoken, turn to another guide, present the same closed fist to them, and say, "Or was it?" That person will then go through the same process providing guidance. One of these two pieces of guidance is correct, and it is up to you to determine which one. Also, you can, if someone provides you with something that you know was absolutely not the case, you can tell them, "No, that wasn't it," and they can then come up with a different piece of guidance. That same guide can. One of these two pieces of guidance that you accept is correct, and it is up to you to determine which one. The guide's insights may be very different, or they might be quite similar. One will feel right to you. It may be pleasant, it may be painful, but you will know deep down which one truly happened. Once you have searched within yourself and found the answer, you can say, "Yes, I remember now," and go with the guidance that is correct. Open your hand and give the penny to the guide who provided that guidance. With this knowledge about your past words and deeds, you will find that you are able to continue the story, describing what consequences your action had on you, those around you, and the world at large. As the traveler, you may find it difficult to accept the guidance that your companions provide. This is understandable. Your own mind is trying to prevent you from retracing the steps of your past self. To prevent this, then you just, it says to repeat the guidance and don't necessarily contradict it as you're recounting your memory. And here we stop until the traveler has asked the guidance and given to Penny to one of the guides. And so we can proceed there until until you're ready to conclude your journey. Which will be after the second question. That's when I'll read that bit. So you get to ask each of us.
Okay. Kacy, do you remember what I made my sister?
Yes, you made your sister breakfast casserole, and you remember that because she would have made fun of you for bringing it in. Breakfast casserole in the afternoon after the surgery. But you did it because it's her favorite.
Jim, do you remember?
I am seeing baked ziti. I think that it was something that it was simple, but you know how to do wonderful things with it. And you know that it's something that your sister considers special and knows that something special has happened when you present it to her.
I think that Kacy's was correct, that I would have made the breakfast casserole because she definitely would have made fun of me, that I would have made it, at 3:00 in the afternoon, even though it's her favorite and she knows that. So she comes out of surgery and I have this huge breakfast casserole. It's, the whole tray is humongous, and even the nurses started to pick at it and they had, little plates of it, and my sister just kind of rolls her eyes and looks at me and says, "I can't believe that you decided to make that." And with that, I turned to her and I said, Jim, what did I say?
Let's see. So just so that I can make sure I have this. She had just said to you, "I can't believe you made that." Is that what she said?
Yes.
Okay. Let's see. I think you just said something simple, something along the lines of course it couldn't have been anything else for a day like today.
Kacy, what did you think I said?
I think you probably would have said, or you did say, what do you think? I'm not going to make your favorite dish on the biggest day of your life.
Yeah, I remember. I said, of course, there's nothing else I would have made. Is that what you said, Jim?
Yeah, you can paraphrase.
Something like that. So once I said that, she just sighed and took a plate of it and started eating it. And she smiled and laughed and said, "One day you're going to be the best chef in the world." And that's what I remember.
Awesome. Yeah, now that you've given away your last penny, you bring the memory to a close, tie up loose ends, and explain what things mean, but do not advance the action further. You finish by saying, "And that is what I remember." Then fill out the next section of your questionnaire, where it says, "When I think of thing, I remember," and you fill in the blank with the memory trigger that began the journey, and write down the core event of your memory. Finally, answer the question listed in that section of the questionnaire. And so that's where we are.
I'm just going to paraphrase that because it's not all going to fit.
It is long. It's a little long.
I think of, or I remember making my sister her favorite meal after her first surgery as a doctor. Was pleasant about it. She told me I was going to be the best chef in the world. Exclamation point. There we go.
Awesome.
Did it.
All right. So then we move on. This journey is now complete. Take a big deep breath and take 1 penny from the bowl. It is now another patient's turn to be the traveler. So Danielle, you can take another penny.
Take a penny, leave a penny.
Yeah. And it is now Kacy's turn to be the traveler.
Okay.
I believe. Let me go ahead, and I think the only section that I have left to read, before we are free of the training wheels, I think the only last section that I have to read is choose the next traveler. Which we already kind of know this. Let me see here. Subsequent travelers. You now choose the next traveler based on the number of pennies people have. In order to be the traveler, you must have enough pennies to complete the next section of your questionnaire. 2 for the first section, 3 for the second, and 4 for the third. The number of pennies for each section also listed on the questionnaire. If more than one person has enough pennies to be the next traveler, whoever among them has the most blank sections in their questionnaire goes next. If there's more than one person tied for most blank sections, whoever among them has the most pennies will go next. If there is still a tie, decide between them by any means the group wishes. And you read aloud the portions of the questionnaire that you have already completed, as well as the section you're about to undertake to remind the guides what you've already discovered and where you're going, if you wish. And that's the last thing I have to read until we're ready to end. So there we go. So, Kacy's next.
Right.
So you can draw another prompt.
Okay, I'll take this one away. I got an empty space on a shelf. So I'll start with Danielle. Yes.
Was there something important on this shelf?
Yes. There was something important on the shelf. It was a book that had been passed down to me from my grandma, and I had lost it, I guess. Not there.
You want me to go next?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Were you... And again, this is going to go either way, really. Were you planning to read it?
No, I wasn't planning on reading it, but I did have plans for it. I was going to give it to somebody else. Um,
Did this someone else know that you were going to give it to them?
yeah, they did. It was my brother. He knew that he started researching the family heritage and wanted to read the book, and now it's gone.
Okay.
So I launch into the memory here now, right? Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And we're aiming toward it being pleasant ultimately, but yeah, go ahead.
Yes. Yeah. So I lost the book, and now I remember. My brother was researching the family heritage and wanted to read this book that our grandmother had passed down, and the book was about Appalachia and Appalachian recipes. And so I searched all over for this book, and I ultimately found it, and my mother had taken it back and made old-fashioned Appalachian cornbread from it for me in return for taking it. But when I approached her about taking it, I can't remember what I said. Danielle.
So when you approached her about taking it, you had said, "I can't believe that you had taken this. I thought I had lost it forever."
Yeah,
Would you like an alternative?
I'm sorry.
Oh, no worries. You can still go with that if you decide to, but so you approached her about taking the book. Did you? So what I would imagine is maybe you told her that you, as much as you appreciated the recipe, as much as you appreciated the cornbread being made, you really needed that book for another purpose, and it was important. So now you choose which one you want.
Yes, and I will do that with the penny. I will give Jim my penny, and
Okay.
I'll say, yeah, I needed it for another purpose, Mom. Brady really wanted the book, or my brother really wanted the book, and I need to give it to him. So what do you think I should say to my brother, Mom? Or wait, hang on. Okay. Yeah, let's say I just say that line, that like I needed it for another purpose, and I wanted to give it to my brother. So then what did I say to my mom? Are there two questions, right?
Yeah, so
Sorry.
you're going to have a second decision point.
Okay.
Yeah, if you want,
Okay.
you could even extend it beyond the initial conversation. If you want it to go somewhere else, and you have a second decision point you think in mind, you can keep it going until you get there.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Oh, no worries.
Fresh to this. Okay. So yeah. Okay. So then I'll say I wanted it for another purpose, Mom. I'll take the book and then deliver it to my brother. This is where I forget what I said to my brother when I gave him the book.
So who do you want to call on?
Oh, Jim. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Let's see. So, just so I'm clear, your brother was your brother doing? Did you say your brother was doing a project or something along those lines originally? Was that?
Yeah, just a heritage project.
Family heritage, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So I think you might have said, "I'm so sorry it took me so long to find this. you'd think I've got everything organized, but it's every now and then things get a little buried. Sorry. And so you basically took the you took the blame for your mother in that, and just handed and gave it over to him.
Okay, Danielle.
So, Mom stole this from me, but she made some cornbread. So you bring him a slice of the cornbread, and then give him the book as well.
All right, Danielle, you get take a penny.
I like that one better too.
Yeah, so I bring my peace offering of cornbread, and I say, Mom took this book, and he is like, oh yeah, typical mom. Of course, she's always just sneaking around and stealing things and then giving you food. Why don't you come in? And he took me in and showed me the project as it stood. It was his Ancestry.com situation, and showed me a bunch of our family history, which is really special.
Awesome.
Yep. And that is how I remember an empty space on a bookshelf.
Cool. Yeah, so yeah, just go ahead and fill that out, and yeah.
Oh my gosh, I can't type. Okay.
I love that.
Perfect.
When I think of an empty space on a shelf, I think of my thieving mother. It was pleasant because your brother showed your family. All right. And go ahead and take a penny.
Oh yeah, I get a penny?
Yep.
Take a penny, leave a penny? Oh, it's trying to make me text down there. Okay.
Oh, cool. All right. And I believe then it passes to me. So I will go ahead and draw a memory prompt. And I think Kacy's going to be the one to get to ask a few questions about this one, so we'll be going back and forth that way. I have... My memory prompt is the smell of fresh blueberries in the rain. The smell of fresh blueberries in the rain. So Kacy, feel free to go ahead.
Or are you currently getting rained on in the memory?
Yes, and it was really kind of nice because it had been pretty hot for quite a while. It was we'd been going through a bit of a dry spell that summer, and so it was kind of nice as fall was coming in, that or was starting to come in, to actually get some. It was nice to get some rainfall, and so it was neat being out there. And Danielle?
Do you like blueberries?
Yes, they're like one of my favorite fruits, actually. It's and I hadn't had a chance to have them in quite a while, so it was neat getting an opportunity to just go out and harvest the things. That's how you know that that's how you know you're getting them fresh.
Was anyone with you in the rain? The blueberries?
Yes. I think that yeah, my cousin. I think that yeah, my cousin Ellen was with me. It had been a long time since I actually had a chance to see her, so it was cool. This was like her first day back from she'd just been on a trip, so it was really nice to actually go out and do an activity of the kind she used to bug me to try to do a lot when we were younger. And so this time I was the initiator, so it was interesting in that respect. So I remember a time when my cousin Ellen and I went out to gather blueberries on a rainy day. We had... It was one of those sort of open sort of farm type places where they let you go and they let you pick the berries. And because they know that, you know, the amount of harvesting required is such that it's fine if they, they want you to, you can do a tour of the vineyard type thing. If you give them like, $10-20, you can go in and, gather as many blueberries as you want, because, they just don't let you carry anything bigger than a thing about this big. They do monitor that, but it was neat because we hadn't been, and since I had and it was because it was new, sort of new for us, since I had moved to that part of the country and she was coming to visit, and so we saw that it was starting to get late as we were out there. It's just not, and the rain wasn't too bad, but it was still, we were still getting we were getting a tiniest bit soggy. And I think I might have suggested something, or I might have done something, but I'm not sure what it was. Danielle, what did I say or do next?
So you found on the ground like one of those green blueberries that aren't ripe yet, and it fell off of the bush. So you looked at your cousin. She wasn't paying attention, so you just ever so slyly just threw it at her.
Nice. Or was it Kacy? What else could it have been?
I'm seeing you going up to her and kind of wringing out your sleeves in front of her and saying, how about we go get some dinner and get out of this rain?
I like both of those. But yes, I think that what I remember is I did go up to her kind of, and tempted though I was to start throwing blueberries, I did go up and sort of wringing my sleeves out and was like, hey, how about we go get some dinner and get out of this rain? And she was very amenable to that. Given that, I think she maybe just sort of did that sort of, oh really? Are you sure you don't want to get any get any more drenched? But I think yes, we started. I think we started heading to the way out, and we kind of had to decide. And it started raining a little harder, and we kind of had to decide if we were going to. There was a dining place just sort of there in the facility. That we could have gone to, which would have gotten us out of the rain a lot faster. But then, I mean, also I think that she had wanted to see more of the town too, so I am not sure what I did at that point, or if there was something else that I could have been, that we might have done. Kacy, what did I do next?
I think you probably just let your cousin kind of lead you along and jog through the rain blissfully to the town where you guys found a little bar and had a nice bratwurst.
Cool. Or Danielle, what else could it have been?
So you had rushed through the blueberry patch, and you found a little area where you could kind of stand under, and somebody had walked past you, and you asked where their favorite place was in the town, and they told you, and all three of you went and had a lovely dinner.
Yes, I like that. We did. We went. We just met. We met a new friend, and yeah, we just sort of. That was. Yeah, that was. That's how we met Micah. And it was very cool. We went and we had dinner, and I had never been to that place before. I didn't even know it was there. It was just sort of a little hole in the wall place. They served a variety of different things, different cuisines, and it was a very neat and awesome evening. And that's what I remember. So when I think of the smell of fresh blueberries in the rain, I remember hanging out with my cousin Ellen, and it was pleasant because we got to spend time together and make a new friend. And I shall go ahead and seize a penny.
One day the penny will go exactly where you want it.
Yeah,
One day.
One day. Okay. Okay, so this now kicks it over to Danielle. Are you ready to start the next phase of things with recalling an unpleasant memory?
I am ready whenever you guys are ready.
Are we good? Are we good to go ahead right now?
I'm good.
Do we need? Yes? No? Maybe?
Yes. No,
good.
we're good.
Good? Okay, perfect. Let's see what we got. Maybe? Yes? There we go. Oh, I have two. Oh no.
Feel free to
An
pick one.
old theater. We're gonna get rid of this one.
Okay.
Remove that card. There we go. I removed the other card that popped out.
No worries.
Old theater.
Who do you want to ask first? I think it's. Do you want it to just sort of do the person who gave you the penny asks first because they got asked?
Yeah.
Want to go back and forth back? Yeah, I think that's usually how it flows in these things. So yeah, okay. Let's see. We found a bug, Paul. Anyway, let's see.
We've solved the case.
Yeah. Let's see. An old theater. I wrote this one and I have to take a second. Let's see. Was it a theater you remembered from your childhood?
Yes, and it wasn't in the same shape that I remember it from. It was falling apart and dusty.
Do you know how long it had been?
Aren't these yes or no questions?
Oh,
they should be yes or no.
I was like, wait.
All right, sorry, my bad. Okay, new question. We'll go. Was anyone with you as you were exploring this broken down theater?
Yes. It was my it was an old friend of mine. And we were just both exploring it at the same time. We wanted to go on like an adventure together. We were 19.
I have two possible questions here. I think the one I'll ask is, did you at any point find it hard to navigate in the old theater?
There were some areas that were hard to navigate, but most of the time we stayed away from those. We stayed mostly in the area where the seats were. We stayed away from the stage most of the time. So
again for the big memory? Oh, okay.
No,
Sorry.
no,
Okay.
it's the memory time. So I remember when I was 19, my friend and I, Tommy was their name. We decided we were going to sneak into the old theater and just kind of rummage around. And we kind of navigated through the stage, and we saw that it was kind of falling apart, so we didn't want to go through there. We went up into the balcony area, and we explored most of like the lower seating and all of that. And then Tommy turned to me and they said, "I'm going to run away." And then I said, Jim, what did I say?
I think you kind of started to interrogate him a little. You're like, why? Why would you want to do that? What's happened? Please talk to me. Or words to that effect.
It could have been that. Or was it Kacy?
I'm seeing that you probably were like, when? What do you need? Where do you want to meet up? Because I'm going to help you get out of here.
Yeah, I definitely wanted to help Tommy leave. So I asked them where and when they needed help. And I wanted to go with Tommy. But Tommy told me that they didn't want any help and they wanted me to stay here because if we both went, that our parents would go looking for us and that we would both be caught. And there's no way that we could both go without, being caught and things like that. But Tommy did say that he would eventually come back for me. And then after that, I decided to... Jim, what did I decide to do after that?
I think before I answer this, has time passed, or are you still in the theater?
Still in the theater.
Okay. I think that you gave them some money, and to sort of help them on their way. You transferred some money, basically, and got that to a significant amount to help them on their way.
That could have been it. Kacy?
I think you did what any 19-year-old would have done in response to that very reasonable answer by your friend, and said, no, I'm coming with you. And you got super angry with him and started like freaking out in this theater.
Mm-hmm. I think that I just kind of nodded and then gave Tommy some money, and then ended up leaving, just walking away from Tommy, and leaving the theater from there. Now, do I do a third option? Okay.
Yep, yeah.
I was like, I have one more penny and you two only have two. And then I walked away from the theater and I went home visibly upset. And then I snuck back into my house, and back into my room, and my mother could clearly hear me crying. And then she asked me what was wrong, but I can't remember what I had said. So, Jim, what did I say?
You told your mother nothing is wrong and just basically closed yourself off at that point.
Kacy?
You told her Tommy is gone. Please don't tell his parents. But I'm broken because my best friend just had to leave.
Yes. I do remember telling my mother that Tommy ended up leaving, but of course to not tell his parents. And then my mother freaked out and of course told his parents, who then ended up calling the police, and then Tommy never spoke with me again. And that's what I remember.
Yeah.
Take a penny. So when I think of an old theater, I remember my best friend telling me they are going to run away. What was unpleasant about it? They stopped speaking to me after I told my parents. There we go.
All right.
Okay, you can go ahead and take a penny.
Yes, I did.
And
Wait, is there an extra penny?
No.
I don't think so. I think we're fine.
Doesn't Kacy have a penny up at the top?
Yeah, Kacy
yeah.
has 4 pennies at this point. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
I was like,
no, the math can work out that way. That's fine. Yeah.
okay. I was like,
Yeah.
I thought I couldn't math for a minute.
Oh, no worries.
Okay. So I take a memory prompt now?
Yeah. So it's your turn.
Yep.
Ooh, my favorite.
Yay.
Somebody got it. All right.
I think it's Danielle asks too this time.
Yes. So. Was the sound of metal scraping against metal No, that's not a good question. Let me try again. Was this sound close to you?
Yes. Yeah. I heard metal scraping against metal directly behind me at the time. And it was terrifying, as you imagine.
Mm-hmm.
Did the sound come unexpectedly?
Yes. Yeah, it came unexpectedly. I had on my noise canceling headphones working, and I was oblivious to the world before that sound interrupted me.
Were you working in an office building?
Yes, but it was a half office building half factory situation. So the front is where I worked, and then the back did have a lot of machinery and stuff. So as soon as I heard that sound, I knew that something had gone wrong back there in the factory. And I remember hearing that sound and running back to find an accident in the factory, but I'm not sure exactly what I found. Is that a good, is it specifically dialogue?
It's more specifically what you did or said more than anything else. So you can tell us things that you see.
Okay,
yeah.
Sorry.
No worries.
Okay, so I found one of my employees who had their hand crushed by a falling piece of metal. So, yeah, what did I do in response to finding this back there?
What do you want to ask first?
Danielle.
So instead of trying to follow any sort of like safety protocols, you were shocked to see this, so you tried to pick up the piece of metal yourself.
I love that, but I'm going to I think that my counter suggestion will be that you immediately and very kind of stringently did the protocols, where you called for, you had someone call you basically had someone place a call to either an on-site medic or whoever you needed to, and to get them to get your employee to the let's say you have a help station. It's been so long since I worked in I did once.
Setting.
I worked in a warehouse, and we had protocols. I just can't. You went to the place with the striped lines, basically the aid station. You went to the aid station with your employee. That's my suggestion.
I remember now that I did try to lift it off of him immediately, and it didn't work at all. And there was about 10 people gathered around, and I was shouting at all of them to try to help me lift this off. And finally, the man with his arm crushed looked up at me and was like, "What are you doing? Call 911, you idiot." And so I said, he kind of shook me out of it, and I called 911, and I told them that there was a workplace injury. He had his arm still pinned under machinery and was potentially losing blood. We couldn't really see, and the ambulance told us they wouldn't be there for 2 hours. So the man on the ground turned and asked how long they'd be. So what did I say to him?
Quick note, go ahead and give Danielle one of your pennies, since I think you said you tried to...
Sorry.
Yeah.
I keep keeping my pennies. So Jim, what did I say?
He asked how long it was going to be. I think that my suggestion is that you just wanted to get him to keep him holding on. So it's like it'll just be a little while. You've just got to hold on. Just hang on. It'll be very soon. You wouldn't give a specific time frame. But you lied in the interest of trying to keep him engaged.
That could have happened, or Danielle, what else could have happened?
So you look him in the eyes and you tell him that it's going to be a while. So we need to try to get this off of you so that we can save your life. And then you turn to everyone else and tell them that we like to help you.
Yes, yeah, Danielle, I did say that. I was like, man, 2 hours until this ambulance gets here. We either got to get this off of you or turn to your arm and pray. So I got the 10 people and we lifted and lifted, and this thing was not coming off of him. And at this point, he was really like in shock and scared that he was gonna die there on the floor. And so he told us to just pull him out from under it and like leave his hand behind at that point. And I was like, I don't think I can do that. But he said, please. So what did I say in response to him begging to get pulled out of there?
Who do you want to go with?
Danielle.
So you just told him we can't do that. And just tell him we could just try one more time and see if you can get more people to help lift it.
All right. Jim?
I think that I think you tried to be I think you tried to do kind of the tough love thing. Basically, you're sort of trying to be sort of very kind of stern with him and like, no, it's not going to work. We've already tried this. It's only going to hurt you further. We just need to get your mind off of this right now. It's anything else, okay? You can talk about anything else, do anything else. But we are not going to try to move you again because it is too dangerous.
Yes, Jim. Yeah. I basically told him straight up, I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna take your arm off. That's insane. And so we waited for the ambulance, and it took an absurd amount of time while this guy was trapped. And unfortunately, like, he still lost his hand and a lot of blood. And he told me as he was driving away in the ambulance that he would blame me for the rest of his life. Yeah, so that's what I remember about the sound of metal, scraping against metal. Don't make that sound around me. PTSD.
Oh my god.
No.
All right. Well. Yeah.
Yeah, you're welcome, guys. Good indeed. Okay. Sorry, my text is not wanting to move.
Yeah. And if you don't mind terribly, I'd like to just, and this is not a big deal, I'd like to kind of end card a specific diagnosis on that particular one, if that's okay. So we just kind of, we don't necessarily talk about this necessarily. It could be PTSD, even necessarily. We don't want to necessarily casually throw that around necessarily. No, just and then so, what was it? The sound of metal getting. I love I love how you've written this up here. Awesome, because he blamed you. Yeah, go ahead and take a penny.
Okay.
And, would we be good with going to break for a little bit? As I think we're at about the halfway point at this point, and I was figuring this would be a probably good time to go ahead and take a break.
Yeah.
All right. Well, before I begin to reveal my unpleasant memory, excellent, awesome, folks. We will be back in a little bit. I've queued up an interview that I just recorded a little while ago, and so we'll have that, and then we shall return. So we shall see you shortly. Welcome to the break. I am here with Drac, who is here to talk about the various amazing things they do. Hello.
Hi. Oh God, you really hyped me up a bunch. Okay.
Well, I mean, you quite honestly, it's I find it hard pressed to go out and find someone in the tabletop spheres who are coming off as more awesome as you are currently, to be perfectly honest. But,
God, I'm flattered. Thank you.
It's very cool. It has been very cool and just wonderful watching all of the various projects you've been involved in. I just wanted to, but in case anyone has been living under a rock or otherwise might be unaware, I just wanted to get a chance to chat with you a little bit and see what you're up to and how you came by this. So first off, how did you get into tabletop gaming?
So my story kind of has two fronts, I suppose.
Yeah.
One is when I learned about TTRPGs in the first place, just what they are in general. And I guess got interested in watching those, specifically actual plays. And the second is when I actually started playing them. And when I discovered TTRPGs first, obviously, other than the like whispers I'd hear in my circles of D&D, I think D&D was like the one that would always come up. I didn't know what it was, even with the whispers I kept hearing. I just it didn't seem interesting. I was very much, when I was younger, I was very much more of I was a weird mixture of jock and nerd, but I definitely leaned more on the jock side. So I was like, oh, D&D, that's for nerds. And I just never looked into what it was in the first place. But then I was in university, and there reached a point where I just realized I couldn't really fall asleep without like listening to YouTube videos or playing something on Twitch. So I was on YouTube. Listening to Markiplier, the classic gaming YouTubers. Yeah. And I fell asleep to Markiplier. And when I woke up, I found out that autoplay was on my YouTube account, so I just kept playing through different stuff, and ended up in the middle of a Geek and Sundry actual play of Foreververse. It was run by Ivan Van Norman, incredible person in the TTRPG space. But they're running a game called Foreververse, and I woke up in the middle of it like, what is happening right now? What is this thing? It's weird. People are sitting around a table, improvising over a story and rolling dice. What's this? So I watched it and got just kind of hooked on TTRPG actual plays. And so I started watching a bunch of them. I watched a good amount of them from good, like maybe year and a half or so before I actually started playing them. And I actually started playing them when I don't know if you've heard of this person, but Brian Iyengar,
Oh I've heard of this individual.
There's a small creator in the group, there's a small creator in the space. No, so Brian Iyengar was on a show called Hyper RPG. And they had an actual play called Kolok 1991. And I've been watching it for a while now, but then Abria joined the cast, I think in season 2 of it. And watching Abria play, it's a black, loud, like there's no way to deny it. They're very loud, they have a presence about themselves. A black, loud woman playing this game and playing it incredibly had me thinking like, I actually want to play TTRPGs now. And I think that's when it really clocked in my mind that up until now, I'd only really seen white creators, like white streamers and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And so it never really clicked in my brain that there was a space for me in it. So for a very long time, I was just satisfied with watching rather than playing. But seeing a Bria play was when it kind of clicked. Like, no, I'm not just okay with watching it. I want to play this stuff. So soon afterwards, I joined my university's D&D club, or TTRPG. It was Warhammer and tabletop role-playing games.
Yeah.
I saw the Warhammer, looked at my wallet, and was like, maybe not Warhammer. Yeah.
I walked into a Games Workshop store like just once or twice. The very brief time, and this was even back in the 90s when I was, I very briefly I was in the UK, and I did not realize prior to that point that there were actual physical Games Workshop stores, which there are a lot of them sort of over here too now. But I walked in and just seeing the array of it, I was already intimidated just by the sheer amount of stuff it looks like you have to buy to get into that.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
It was honestly, I was very lucky. I've told this kind of portion of the story to a lot of people, and a lot of people mention how lucky I was to have a TTRPG club in university. Many people didn't. But so my club was very welcoming and very encouraging. Even when I did walk away from Warhammer because that just seemed too expensive, I had many people who were like, "Hey, I'll let you borrow my figurines and minis and stuff like that." I think I ended up just walking away from it because I like owning my stuff.
Yeah.
But then also having to own it is expensive, so I was like, "Oh, I can't do that." So I played D&D. I played a one shot. I played pre-gen characters. I think my first character was a human fighter. You know, the vanilla of the vanilla, depending on who you ask. And I loved it. It was great. Absolutely loved it. When I rolled my first die, it was the critic die, and then I rolled a metal die afterwards, and I was like, yeah, I can feel the addiction to dice hitting now. Just from day one. I think the very next day I bought my own set of metal dice and just started playing my D&D club. This was like right at the beginning, like maybe 2 or 3 months before the pandemic hit. I was playing, so I hadn't really been playing for very long before the pandemic hit. But yeah, I played a campaign where I continued as a fighter, but played as a dragonborn because I just love dragons. Honestly, it's kind of where my name came from, and kind of was hooked ever since. Yeah. Excellent.
Well, I will say at this point that I was lucky enough to have you on this channel in one shot of Medical Bay 3. That was a game that was being worked on at the time by one of the indie fellows. I'm trying to remember which one now. Alas, the Medical Bay 3 was put together by. Let me just make sure that I have that. No, Googling it does me no good. I'm so sorry if you happen to be looking at this and you're the designer of Medical Bay 3, but I'm afraid it has dropped out of my brain. But as to who put it together. But in any case, it's folks can go back in the various videos and find them if they so desire. It's a couple of years back. And it's just basically it's a medical drama in space.
Yeah.
And it was so fun having you on there. Just seeing you looked like you were taking to it immediately. I had trouble believing it was your first time, I will say.
Yeah, no.
But
it was my first time, and I remember being very nervous and decided that I'd just play a nervous character to hide that. But no, that was my first time.
And it worked out quite well. And as I recall, I think your character helped sort of, it just really was, I mean, everyone was contributing, but you really was sort of got into solving the overall problem with the patient that was in there. So that was really cool.
Yeah.
And since then, you have done many other things on streams. And I'm wondering if you'd like to talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, no, so when the pandemic hit, a lot of the games I'd finished one campaign. It was a fairly short campaign. I mean, depending on who you ask, actually, it's a fairly long campaign. We had maybe 10, 12 sessions, and then we ended that campaign, and we were starting a new one. This is all off stream. This was my D&D club, and then COVID hit, And for a while, we kept playing in person because we were all quarantining and we were all isolating. We were each other's bubble, essentially. But it got to a point where it just wasn't really possible, especially after the holidays arrived. So we all were going back from leaving the dorms to go back home for the holiday.
Yeah.
So we tried playing over online through Discord. And considering everyone that I was playing with wasn't really a streamer, they didn't really invest in a good mic or a good cam or anything like that. It became increasingly hard for everyone to play. Either mics would cut out or the internet just wouldn't be stable. So it became hard to keep playing. So I kind of turned to playing online with, I guess, for lack of a better term, strangers. So I looking to play on streams and stuff like that. And that's how I found you, Other Dark, and played Medical Way 3. Fell in love with streaming. That's where I met Jen.
Yeah.
And Jen kind of was the one to be like, hey, you're really cool. Do you want to play together more? And I can't remember for the life of me what channel it was, but they used to be part of a channel and invited me over to play on that channel as well. And that's kind of how streaming kind of started chugging away from me. I'd streamed before, but not teach RPGs. I tried my hand at being a video game streamer for a couple of times. Yeah, but that was my first time, I guess, performing really on camera. And Jen pulled me deeper into it, and I just kept going deeper and deeper ever since. I think, God, I won't be able to list everything I've done since then. But some of the cool things I've done that have still stuck with me is that I've been on Dragon Talk, which is very cool. I think within the year or two that I started playing, which was just ridiculous to me. I had been on D&D Live, the show they do every year. I think they do it maybe twice every year, I think, at this point. I'm not entirely sure. But I got to play on the official D&D channel, played with Roll20. I was on a campaign that was on the D&D channel. It's been a lot. It's been interesting and fun, and I definitely didn't see myself doing all of this stuff when I first started. But here I am. And now I'm co-founder of my own channel. I'm being asked to be on other games and interviews that you want here. It's been cool. Every so often I'd sit back and just think about where I started and where I am right now, and it's been a pretty wild ride that I don't intend on getting off of anytime soon.
Brilliant. Actually, yeah. Could we talk just for a moment about Friends Who Roll Dice? The channel that you started. What was sort of the impetus getting that together?
Yeah. So I will say there's some dirty laundry involved. So I won't give any names or anything like that.
Oh. But
a channel that I was a part of previously wasn't so great, especially to marginalized folks, especially to women. So a bunch of us kind of decided we're gonna leave and just make our own channel and do better. And I think we have pretty well. I'll be honest.
Yeah.
I'm not only leaving names out because I don't want to cause drama, but I also just legitimately cannot remember the name of the channel we were part of.
Oh, yeah.
Because they kind of fell off the face of the map very soon after we left.
There were a lot of those that sort of, back in it's probably like 2020-ish, mid-2020-ish.
Yeah.
We were talking. Yeah. There were a lot of channels that were suddenly discovering that they needed to take a look at themselves. And I think so that was definitely a thing. I mean, I definitely took a look at myself during that time. I'll tell you that. So that was definitely a point when there was a lot of that happening. So I'm very glad you weathered that and found something better.
Yeah. I will say, luckily, I wasn't the one who took the brunt of any of it. But a friend of mine was, and once they told me about it, I thought, I'm not going to play with this group anymore. Yeah. And then they went on to create Friends Who Roll Dice and invited me. I actually came on, so even though I am a co-founder, I'm technically haven't been part of Friends Who Roll Dice as long as everyone else. Just by a few weeks, quite literally a few weeks. Okay. They kind of put it together, and then a few weeks later, they were like, "Hey, Drex, do you want to be a part of this? You're pretty cool." And I'm like, if you think I'm cool, yeah, sure. So it's been fun. It's been cool seeing it grow the past 2 years, almost 3 years now. It's weird to think about. to almost have a name for itself as well, which has been very interesting as well. Yeah, no, I'm very. It's been cool. The name is valid. I think from the people who've been on Frontier Roll Dice, it's been really cool to hear that people legitimately feel like this is a safe space to play. And we started it so that we can introduce new people to new systems, introduce just new people in general to TTRPGs, try to make it as friendly to new players as possible, while also encouraging and keeping veterans interested as well, which I think we've been doing a pretty good job of so far.
Yeah, I'd have to agree. Definitely, no. It very much gives off the vibe of being that kind of place, and it's wonderful to have. It's wonderful to have it out there. Well, if folks want to find you, if they're looking for you, where should they go?
You can find me on Twitter at Draconics. That's DRAKONIQUES. I kind of stream all over the place, so follow me on Twitter is honestly the best place to find what I'm doing at any given moment. I'll be entirely honest, most of the time, I'm not entirely sure what I'm doing at any given moment until a couple of days prior. So you'll be just on alert and just on your toes as I am at any given moment. You can also follow Frontier Roll Dice. I'm not often on camera there, but I work behind the scenes with admin and just charity work and just general event organizing there. That's my specific job there. God, what else? That's honestly it, other than I guess the shows I'm on. So just follow me on Twitter to find out what show I'm doing when you're watching this.
Excellent. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, well, it's wonderful. It's wonderful getting to see you again. I gotta tell you. But I'm going to go ahead and throw things back over to my future self, and who's doing something. I have no idea what. Who can know? Because I too don't know what I'm doing usually until a few minutes out of time. So I understand. But in any case, folks, do take care, and we will see you all of a sudden. We have returned, and it is time for me to recall an unpleasant memory. He says, diving straight forward into the thing. I'm going to go ahead and draw a memory prompt here. The smell of fresh cut grass. Okay. An unpleasant memory about smell of fresh cut grass. And I think that
it would be me.
It would be you. Yes, you were the last round.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So, was it your grass that was cut?
Yes. I had, this was the first time I actually had a lawn, a house with a lawn. And, it was, one of those things where it was like, am I, and had to sort of figure out how all of that works, basically. I don't have a cat. I can't. I cannot complete the cycle.
The stream
alas.
cat cycle.
Yes, I
Let's
cannot.
give mine off.
Darn it! All right. But yes, no, it was my lawn, and it was my lawn on my first house, and it was a new experience for me. Just cutting grass that on a lawn that I owned, apparently, or was responsible for at least.
So, you said that you recently, or you had just cut the lawn yourself. Did you feel accomplished after you cut the lawn?
Yes, I felt, well, if by accomplished we mean exhausted, yes. There is, I did feel a sense of accomplishment because it was like, first time that I have done this. And so there was that, but a lot of it was just basically like, okay, yes, we're done now. I am so glad to be done now. Because again, first time that I had done it for quite this volume. I mean, I cut lawn, I've cut plenty of lawns in the past, but this one was just sort of like, I wanted to make sure it was right. And unfortunately, that has a tendency for me to overdo it, and so I overdid it a little bit as I was cutting that lawn.
Did you overdo it on the lawn with your like mowing skills, or did you overdo it by your interactions with others mowing the lawn?
Well,
it's not a yes or no question.
It should be yes or no, but I actually can take that and say yes to both.
Okay. Good. Thank you.
The answer to that question is yes. I basically, the thing being that, so here's the thing. You see, so as, of course I was not alone, because, Micah came out of the house and was trying to help me, and I did not want her help. We had gotten much closer since that day that we had met. In the blueberry patch. So, she was out trying to help me, and I kind of had been insistent on just wanting to do it myself. And, that is why I, ended up as exhausted as I was afterwards. Basically, kind of did that in a, I was perhaps a little more acerbic about it than I should have been. So I remember a time that that despite my girlfriend's protestations, I tried to mow the lawn myself and ended up throwing my back out. So I just sort of, I think that she kind of led me over to this tree that we have. And she told me, okay, you need to just kind of try just sitting down, just get down, try to rest here for a little bit before we move you anywhere else. You need to stop now. And what did I say or do next, Kacy?
You kind of slumped down against this tree and looked out over the lawn and saw the kind of shoddy lines and stuff, and looked at Micah, who was looking at you with eyes of concern, and you said, "Yes, yeah, thank you. I'll sit here for a minute." And yep.
Or Danielle, what else might I have done?
So you sat down by the tree and you looked across the lawn. And then you looked over at Micah and said, "You know, if I get a better mower, this will probably look better."
Ooh. Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to go with that one. I'm gonna have to go with that one. Yeah, I looked out across the lawn, looked back up at Micah, looked back out across the lawn, and was like, you know, if we get a better mower, this is all gonna look better. And I think at that point she was just about ready to be like, she was just like, oh no, we are not doing that. You just got this one. This one works fine. You just need to practice. With it, I mean, look at where you left the thing, and I think I remember that it was just sort of, I had left it at the edge of the lawn, sort of where it's not very far from the street. And as we just sort of looked at it, a truck rolled by, and the lawnmower ended up leaning off and drifting out into the road. Basically fell off the curb and into the road as we were both staring at it, just sort of there. And I think I did something, possibly then. I might have done something. What did I do, Danielle?
You kind of slumped over while you were reaching toward it because you were about to stand up, but of course you threw out your back. So it was more of just kind of like a lean and slump as you were kind of screaming in pain.
Or Kacy, what else might I have done?
You might have just kind of reached in your pocket and unlocked your car and been like, "We're going to Home Depot," it seems like. Prepared for the Home Depot trip.
Let's see, which way do I want to drive this? Yeah. Yeah, I think that is what I did. I was like looking up, I was reaching my car, I was looking at it, I was just like, oh, that cinches it. As I just watched this lawnmower just sort of fall over into the road. And I'm like, we are going to Home Depot. This is not the thing. No lawnmower is supposed to behave like that. It wasn't like it was possessed or anything. It just, it had probably just the incline of the thing just sort of went out, and it was like, I was looking at it, I was like, no, I mean, the thing, it's fallen over. It's probably scraped a bit, scuffed a bit. We can go back. We can get the warranty on it. The warranty's still good. We can trade it back in. We just got this thing. We can trade it back in. We can get a better lawnmower. You have to believe me. And I was sort of trying. I wasn't standing up at that point because, again, back. When I was like, trying, sort of insisting that we try to go and trade the thing in. And I think that Micah resignedly helped me to the car. Helped me get the lawnmower back into the car. She had to do most of the heavy lifting. And so there was perhaps some degree of animosity over that. Not, huge. We get along okay. But it was still just kind of thing where now we were both tired, and we both found ourselves driving lawnmower hanging out of the back of our trunk because it's too, a little too big. It's not a riding mower, it's a push mower. But, it's got that long bit that can't completely, fit in there unless you dangle it out the back of the car. And we found ourselves on our way to Home Depot when we were trying to somehow I think it's I think it is possible that I was driving. I'm not completely sure. I might have either been driving or a passenger, but as we were trying to cross a particular intersection, I felt and heard a rather upsetting sort of clank from behind us, as possibly someone might have run through the intersection and clipped the bit of the lawnmower that was dangling out the handle. I think I immediately did something, but I'm not sure what it was. What did I do? Kacy.
You might have, in your tiredness and in your frustration with packing an item into a car that everybody has, turned to Micah and said, I told you to put it in the other way. It wouldn't have been hanging out the back of the car if you had put it in the other way that I told you to do.
Or Danielle, what else might I have done?
So you were the one driving, and you felt that in the back of the car, and you were tired and things like that, so you immediately just slammed on the brakes, because it just shocked you so much. So you just kind of slammed on the brakes, and just looked behind you.
I'm gonna go with that one. I did. I slammed on the brakes immediately, feeling that. I just looked behind me a little too violently. I had to wince a bit because I was in pain. And I saw that we weren't completely actually all the way out of the intersection, which, the problem with that car that came through is there was another one behind it. And it hit us in our rear left bumper. Just about took the damn thing off. And did not total the car, but it most definitely totaled the lawnmower. The point that, there was now a bunch of the warranty was no longer really the thing we were looking at. There was now insurance and possibly secondary insurance, and it just led to a caldera of pain, both literal and physical, that began on that day and lasted for quite some time. And that is what I remember. So, when I think of the smell of fresh cut grass, I remember trying to take my lawnmower. Trying to take our lawnmower to get replaced. And it was unpleasant because it led to a series of accidents. And I shall take a penny for my misery. Okay. So, I believe this now again is going to shift. This seems to be following a specific pattern, but it's okay. Yeah. Some games do that. So this is going to go back to Danielle, who has enough pennies to unlock the memory of how you came to be here.
Yeah. A flickering street light.
Ooh. Okay.
I don't remember who gave me a penny. Oh wait, you gave me a penny last. Yeah. I was like, wait, I don't remember, but I do. And that's why I'm here.
You will soon.
We've gone full circle.
Yes. It will happen. It will happen. So a flickering street light. Here we go. Did you see this street light late at night?
Yes. I was walking home from a late shift at a restaurant that I owned. And I saw it, and I stopped under it for a little bit, looking at it.
Did the streetlight stop you for a specific reason?
This streetlight has always been flickering like this, and for some reason this night, I just stopped at it because I found I was thinking that night that, you know, it's been flickering like this for months, and why hasn't the bulb burnt out yet?
And feel free to strike this down if you want to. Were you taking the time to do that, to stare and contemplate the light, because you were not supposed to be out there? You were not supposed to be doing that. You were supposed to be somewhere else.
No.
Okay.
So I get to go?
You want me to? Well, yeah. Well, if you want, I can come up with a new one.
Oh,
yeah, go ahead and come up with a new one.
Sure, no problem. Let's see. Obviously been there for you'd obviously been there for a while, or did the street light at that point did the street light seem at all dangerous to you at that point?
Yes, it seemed mostly like just like an electrical sort of danger where, you know, at this point somebody should have at least changed it, or you know, there might be something wrong with the wiring. So like something should have been looked at that point. But this one time, I remember I was walking home from a late shift at my restaurant, and I walked the same path every day home, and I see the flickering street light again. It's been like that for months, and I look up at it. Usually I just take a glance at it every day, but this time I looked up at it, and I really looked at it, and I thought to myself, like, why hasn't this been replaced? It's been like this for months, and it's got to be a hazard at this point. Either there's something wrong with the electrical in it, or it's going to go out one night and it's going to be super dark on this road because there's only, you know, 2 lights on this street. And then one moment. There we go. So then as I'm looking up at it, I see a car driving down the street, and it looks like one of the maintenance cars for the area, you know, ones that like change the lights and things like that. So I go to flag him down, and then what do I do after that? Jim?
I think I think you started chasing after them because they didn't seem to, as far as you could tell, they didn't seem to be paying much attention to this light. Maybe they were here for something else, but you wanted to make absolutely sure that they knew about this because of the potential hazard. And you basically you started following them for a while.
Okay. And Kacy?
I saw that you kind of started to jog in that direction and wave and like try to get their attention, and then as you looked at the vehicle longer, you realized that it was not a maintenance vehicle. It was just kind of like a unmarked van, and you got really weird vibes off of it. So you tried to turn around.
I think that, the utility truck didn't see me, and they must have been there for something else. So, I just kept kind of following them and running down the street towards them, trying to flag them down. And they finally stopped at a red light, and I knock on the window, and the guy rolls his window down, and I told him, like, I started shouting at him, and I said, I've been following you for a block and a half. And I point out the light, because you can still kind of see the light. It's like blinking. And he's like, well, what do you want me to do about it? And then I said, Kacy, what did I say?
You said, change the fucking light. You're here. You got your truck.
Jim?
I mean, that really says it, doesn't it? Let me see. I think that, I think you demanded an explanation for why it hadn't been changed yet, because of how long it had been. So it was just when he asked, what do you want me to do? It's like, I want to know why this is, how could this have happened at this point? Why isn't this fixed? If you're not going to fix it now, what's going on?
Yeah, I think I definitely told the guy to change the fucking light. And then at that point, he just drives away. He's gone. And I just think to myself, well, I could have done that better. There's definitely ways I could have gone through that would have been better for all of us. And then again, I start to trot off home, and then that's when I notice that light bulbs fell out of the back of his truck, like a box of them. And then what do I do from there? Kacy?
I would say that you took a couple of the light bulbs. You're safe. Don't know if one will do the job. And you go back and you like eyeball the light pole, and you're like, I don't know if I can shimmy up that. But you're already determined. You're like, I got the light bulbs, I got the time, I gotta do this. So you start knocking on doors, asking if people have ladders.
Okay. And Jim?
I think light bulbs in hand, you looked around. I'm trying to visualize the thing here. You looked around and on coming back, you noticed that someone had parked their van underneath that light, that flickering street light, and it just walked away while you were having that exchange. And you thought to yourself, you know, they're going to be in there wherever they are right now for a little while. I could just climb up there on top of their van, and I think I could just make it to the light. If I try to get it from there. It's going to be a stretch, but I think I can do it.
Yeah. I think that's what happened is I saw that van and I was like, I can climb on top of that van and then maybe I'll have to like shimmy just a little bit, and then on my tiptoes I can go ahead and change that light. So that's what I do. I go ahead and get my way up there, and I have my hand on the light, and I could see that there's definitely like the light wasn't screwed in all the way, or like something was just a little bit broken with it. So I go ahead and I swap the light out. And then as I go to climb down, the van starts to move. So the person wasn't in there as long as I thought they were going to be. So I kind of get down low on the van, and I'm kind of just tapping, like banging on the hood of the van. But I can hear that there's loud music playing. So there's no way they're going to hear me. If I shout, if I'm banging on the top of the van, there's no way they're going to hear me. So what do I do now? Kacy?
You played Assassin's Creed growing up. So you, like, in your mind, you can picture the tug and roll, and you're like, I can do this. So you jump off of the van, but instead of tugging and rolling like you thought would happen in the video game, you smack that concrete.
Okay. Jim?
You cling on for dear life to the roof of this van, as it's hoping that it does not turn onto a busier road, or rather a bigger road, one that you have to go faster on. In the hope that it will slow down soon enough and come to a stop so you can get off the thing.
So I definitely just froze, and I cling on for dear life as I'm just hoping and praying that they're gonna stop at a light or something where I can just get off really quickly. Unfortunately, the driver has had a lot to drink, so they are speeding through lights, they're swerving everywhere, and then I can't hold on anymore, and at one point I just fly off and hit my head on the concrete, and that's the last thing I remember.
Yep.
Yep. So when I think of flickering streetlights, I remember trying to change a light bulb. How did I lose my memory? By flying off the roof of a van.
There it is.
There we go.
Yeah.
I did it.
I think
I
we
solved
need to
the case.
do like actual support group stuff after those kinds of things. Like, I'm so sorry that happened to you. Thank you for sharing your story.
You're like, wait a minute. So you're telling me you became a chef after your friend ran away and you lost your memory because you flew off the roof of a van? Yes.
You were doing it for everybody, though. That's what mattered.
Yeah. It was for the greater good.
Yeah.
The greater good.
Thank you. That was the correct response.
It is the correct response always.
Excellent. So Kacy and I are both tied for a number of pennies and number of unanswered questions, so we can decide in any manner we wish.
I say rock, paper, scissors.
We could do that. Do you want to Rochambeau it, or do you want it? I'm happy if we want
it up for the last one if you want to.
I'm good either way. Would you prefer to go last this time, or do you want to?
Yeah, we could end with you because you're the best. You're a good storyteller, so we could. And it's your channel, so we could.
I'm a hack.
On a high note.
I say fight to the death.
Okay, we will fight to the death to figure out.
We can rock, paper, scissors if you want, or yeah.
If you'd prefer to go next, you can.
We do have a deck of playing cards.
We do have a deck of playing.
Whoever plays the highest.
Yeah, we could do that. Yeah, why don't we do that? Just let's make the playing cards visible here. And I'll shuffle them real quick, and feel free to draw a card, and we'll see what it is. And then I will draw a card. Whoever high card will.
Did it do it?
You got it in your hand, and now you can drag it out from your hand and onto the tabletop.
Okay.
Okay. Let's see. You have the 5 of spades, and I have the 7 of hearts. So I guess I am going next.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, we did it. Problem solving.
All right. I will draw a memory prompt. The sun shining through a dusty attic window. Okay, that is the prompt. And it goes to Danielle, because...
Was this your attic?
Yes. I was up in the attic. I think cleaning it out. That day.
Were you cleaning it out for a reason?
Yeah. I was cleaning out the attic because we were getting ready to sell the house. And and we needed to get everything out before we did.
Were you selling the house because you had bought a new one with your partner?
Yes. We needed something kind of more affordable at that point. And it was time. We needed to kind of downsize. We needed something that was not as much to take as that house was. And frankly, we were kind of glad to be getting rid of it because it had been rather troublesome, that house. So I remember a time when I was up in the attic, seeing the sun shining through a dusty window of it, and I was trying to clean it out. Get everything kind of sorted and prepared for the movers. And I think that Micah and Ellie both were up there helping us. Ellie had come into town to kind of help us move. Ellen had. And we were up there moving stuff, trying to get stuff out. And I think that Ellen was suddenly kind of had gotten very tense at on seeing finding something that I think it was some portraits, some portrait photos of an elder relative from our family, or possibly a number of them, and didn't want to I think that she didn't want to talk about them or let me see which ones they were. And then I think I did something or said something. Danielle, what might that have been?
You just kind of rested your hand on her shoulder and asked, if she was okay and if she wanted to talk about it.
That could have been it. Or, Kacy, what else might it have been?
You could have kind of just acted like it didn't bother you and let her take the photos downstairs or wherever they were going, and nonchalantly later find those same photos and look through them.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I think I did do that. I'll put it back up there. I think that I just sort of was like, I didn't want to push it. Because, I mean, Ellen had come all this way and was helping, and I had no reason or right to, just sort of try to push her on anything. I was just grateful she was there helping us. And so I figured I'd just go and take a look at them later after we got down from the attic. I think Micah was curious about what it was, but I couldn't tell her much because I didn't know which. I didn't know. So I think I did, so per that plan, to nonchalantly go and look again. I think that as I was trying to do that in what seemed at the time to be an empty room, I think that as I was trying to, Helen's voice came up from the other side of the room and said, "No, don't. Just don't. This is not something either of us needs to think about." And I'm not sure how I reacted. Kacy, what did I do?
At this point, you're a little beyond kind of not wanting to step on Ellen's toes because she's like lurking in the shadows and not letting you look at these pictures. So you're like, what is the deal here? Just break it to me, because I'm gonna find out eventually. He's like,
Or Danielle, what else might it have been?
You go up to Ellen and you give her a hug and just say, "It's okay." And at this point, you just kind of want to sit with her until she feels comfortable with you to tell you what was wrong or what's going on.
I think that okay. Yeah, I actually I think I am going to go with Kacy's. Where I was kind of insistent. I was like, you can tell me what is this about? And I think that in the process I just was just trying to sort it out. And she just sort of said, "Fine. You want to see it here?" And came forward and she just shoved the photo at me and turned and walked out of the house. I was like, what the hell? I looked down and it was photos from my military service, which had been a very sore point for us. The only thing we ever really argued about, knockdown, drag-out fashion. It was not a good time for me. But especially, there were... It was something she had been against from the beginning. We'd always kind of been close, but that sort of had driven a wedge. And it was something that we just didn't ever talk about anymore. And I'd honestly forgotten those photos were up there. And I think that Micah at that point wanted to know, in addition to what was, it's like what comes next. Sort of looked to me to try to do something at that point, one way or the other. And I'm not sure what I did next at that point. Danielle, what did I do next?
You took the photos and you threw them in the garbage. And then you went to go find Ellen.
Or Kacy, what else might I have done?
You might have looked at the photos and looked at Micah, who was looking at you, just kind of waiting for anything, and just put them in front of her and been like, here's the worst part of me, or here you go, this is everything you need, and then just kind of walked off in the direction of Ellen as well.
Oh. These are both very good. Sorry, I'm going to lean slightly in the soap opera direction here. So... Yes. No, that's... I do remember I did just hand them to Mike and just sort of curtly said, here, this is the worst part of me. It's something we had not really talked about. And something that we were that I had really hoped not to have to think about. Because, like I said, it was not a good time for me or anyone else who happened to be around me at that time in my life. And I headed in Ellen's direction. And I think I caught her as she was getting into her car. She was wanting to leave. And I am not sure how it was that I reacted to that. I'm not sure what I did next. Kacy, what did I do next?
As she was getting into her car, you kind of put your hand, not in a blocking way, but just kind of on her car, like a, hey. And we're like, Ellen, it's been years since I've been in the military. You know, that's not me in those pictures. Come back inside and let's clean out the rest of the attic and start my new life.
Or Danielle, what else might I have done?
So you run in front of her car, kind of do like the, hands in front, sort of defensive sort of thing, and just say, please don't leave yet.
So yes, I ran in front of her car, very much the defensive, with that defensive posture. Please don't leave yet. And we're both. I don't know if you've realized this about us by now, but we were both of us rather stubborn individuals, she and I. I couldn't even, over the car's motor, I kind of think I heard her say something to the effect of, no, and you're not, something about me going back to telling other people what to do. Which was not what I was trying to do. I just really didn't. I was at a very uncertain point at that point. I just did not want her to go. But I don't know what she was thinking. She, I don't know if she was freaking out or if she was just mad. Or what she was remembering at that point. I don't think it was on purpose, because I think the car did stop. But not quite soon enough. And, yeah, I, ended up slammed back against that same tree on our lawn. Off to the side. And to her credit, I think she paused for a moment before she took off, just to see that I wasn't hurt too badly. But she did take off. And I don't think I ever forgave myself for that, or I wasn't able to, so I just forgot. It was very stressful. And the last thing I wanted to be at that moment was myself. And that is what I remember. So, when I think of the sun shining through a dusty attic window, I remember arguing with my cousin Ellen. And I lost my memory because I couldn't handle driving her off in that moment. And I shall take a penny.
It wasn't your fault. You didn't deserve that. All right. Last memory.
Your go.
Okie dokie. The taste of dry wine. So, well, Jim, we'll start.
Okay. Sorry, hang on a second.
You're good.
All right. I think I went harder there than I planned to. Sorry about that. Anyway. The taste of dry wine. Okay. Let's see. Were you enjoying the wine?
No. I like fruitier wines normally. Somebody else had ordered this one. Not a fan.
Were you drinking this wine at a party?
Yes, kind of. It was like a dinner party. One of those dinner parties where nobody feels like they belong there, and everybody's too quiet.
Did you feel like you had to be at this party?
Yes. Yeah, my boyfriend dragged me along to this party with his work crew, and I didn't want to go, but he said it'll look better for me if you're there. And so I went because he was going for partner soon, and it's all about appearances at that point. So I remember the taste of dry wine, which I hate, and hearing these boring conversations all night. And then finally, after a bunch of coffee courses and a bunch more wine, we finally get to leave this godforsaken restaurant, and we're heading home. And my boyfriend had a lot of that wine, and he pulled his car keys out of his pocket. And so I don't remember exactly how I responded to him in that moment when I saw him pull his car keys out. Danielle, do you remember?
You looked at him and you said, "You're definitely not driving. Give me those keys."
It could have been that. What else could it have been, Jim?
There are a few options here. I think I'm seeing that you, I think that you grabbed the keys from him and ended up kind of fighting over them a little bit. Kind of wrestling over them, he was trying to get them back.
Yes, I did do that. We tussled over the keys, but he did have the upper hand, and he wrenched them out of my hand and said, "You can get in the car, you can walk." And I said, "I'll walk, thanks," and watched him drive off with the biggest pit in my stomach, because even though he's a drunk asshole, he's my drunk asshole, and I want him to make it home safe. And I looked down at my phone, which I had been on for the majority of the dinner party, and now it's at 1%. We'll give it 2%. And so as I'm opening Lyft, I get a phone call from my friend that I haven't heard from in a long time. But I can't remember what I did, whether I answered the call or got on Lyft. What did I do, Danielle?
You answered the phone call and saw if they were in town and could pick you up.
Okay, could have been that. Or what else could it have been, Tim?
I think that I think you let it go to voicemail and tried to summon Lift because you just didn't want to deal with anyone at that point.
I think I did call my friend, or I answered the phone call, and I said, hey, like, are you in town? I need you right now. And she said, yeah, I'm actually a couple blocks over at a party. You should come by, and then I'll take you home afterwards. And so I start walking over there. The phone died during that conversation, and so I really didn't have any other option than to make it to that party at this point. And I show up at the building that she told me she was going to be at, and it's like a warehouse situation where you can tell they tried to turn it into some sort of venue, but there's health code violations all over the place. And there's thumping music, so I know there's people in there, and I'm not completely lost. So I go inside, I go inside, and I'm trying to find my friend. No luck. So I just go up to the bar, and I don't remember what I said to the bartender. Jim, what did I say?
Do you have any wine that is not dry?
Okay, could have been that. Danielle?
You order your favorite drink, and then you ask the bartender if he's seen your friend.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with my favorite drink and asking if he saw my friend. Yeah, so I'm with this kind of environment. I say, can you give me a vodka Red Bull? Because it's gonna be a long night. And he gets my drink, and I'm like, have you seen this girl? And I try to describe my friend, but it's like anybody in there could have been her. So he points to like a little balcony area over this mosh pit situation and tells me to go up there and look for her. And so I find my way through these creepy looking back hallways up to the balcony, and I'm looking down on the dance floor, and I do see my friend, but she's like with a dude, like, so she is occupado, and while I really need a ride, I don't know if that's what I want to do. So I also see a lot of other people willing to dance. So I don't know if my headphones just died. They made a little doo-doo-doo. You can still hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So I see a lot of eligible bachelors in the crowd as well. So I make my way back down to the bar and order another vodka Red Bull, and then get over to my friend And what do I say to her when I find her?
You say, "Don't worry about giving me a ride. I'll find another one." But like in a fun way, not like a condescending way.
Hi, also, bye. Okay, it could have been that. Jim, what else?
I think it was a thing where you were kind of just at the point where you were like, I need to get out of here. And you didn't want to spoil her fun, but at the same time, it was like, you know, you're in a spot, and so I think when you headed over there, the moment you sort of were heading over there and kind of hanging out nearby until the song ended, and you just, as soon as she finally, you know, and she knew you were there, but as soon as she finally had a chance to look in your direction, guy there and all, you just unloaded on her everything that was going on and had been happening to you, and how you felt, and that you needed to go.
I think I did do that, Jim. I said, listen, girl, yeah, this boy, he's a piece of trash. I like him, but I can't deal with this anymore. He trying to drive me home drunk today. She said, what are you trying to get me to do right now? If not drive you home drunk. I'm sick of your problem. You're always complaining about that boyfriend of yours and never doing anything about it. And she just turned and walked away from me. And I took my drink and I splashed it all over her back and started an all-out brawl in this janky club, starting with my best friend. So when I remember the taste of dry wine, I think about my best friend and I getting into a fist fight at a nightclub. And yeah, I'll type that out.
And you lost your memory as a result of the bar fight. Yeah.
Happens to the best of us.
Yeah.
Okay. So we are ready to conclude the journey. Now that you've given away your last penny, bring the memory to a close, tie up loose ends. I just want to remember we did that. We've moved on. And after your third memory, as you have recalled more and more of your past, You have gradually remembered who you are, at least who you once were. Now that you have completed the third section of your questionnaire, you're done acting as a traveler and you choose a guide. We did that already. Let me find the place that says complete the treatment. There it is. Everyone has completed the 3 sections of their questionnaires. Now you must all complete the final section. Do you want to remember your past? It is our hope that by confronting your choices and their consequences, you will have come to terms with them and be able to return to a relatively normal life. Depending on the circumstances that led to your amnesia, however, you may decide that it is better for you to forget your past. I do not recommend this option, but it is available to you, and it is a choice that only you can make. Once you answer, briefly explain why you made that decision to your fellow patients. So, let's stop until everyone has answered the questions and explained their reasons. So who wants to go first?
I will go first. I will keep my memories because I clearly was a successful chef. Yes, I did have the sad memory of losing my best friend, but I feel like it was better for me to be able to have that experience of saving them versus them leaving forever and potentially getting hurt.
Kacy, do you want to go next?
Yeah, I think I will actually not remember my past because after like the flood of memories of this last night with my boyfriend and BFF, I kind of remembered how shitty I was. Like, I had been in that car with him hundreds of nights, like, or not hundreds, but times before that, and I was, yeah, not a good person. So take him. I don't want him.
Okay. And I think, yes, I am going to remember my past. Because I'm not who I was. And I need to patch things up with my cousin, who was like a sister to me. I need to make things right. I have responsibilities. And I want to start my new life with Micah. All of the patients who chose to not remember should return any pennies they still have to the bowl. Those who want to remember their past should keep their pennies.
Bye, pennies.
Your session is now ended. Those of you who chose to remember should have your memories intact. Those who did not will find that you have forgotten the session entirely. We here at the Institute hope everything has gone well for you. Please join hands and repeat together a penny for my thoughts, if you so choose. As our signal that you are finished and the nurse will come and assist you. I believe the ritual phrase is, take a penny, leave a penny.
Take a penny, leave a penny. See, Kacy left her pennies. So
Yes.
Yeah,
it's take a penny, leave a penny. I keep my pennies.
Yes. I have 3 of them and I shall hoard them for eternity.
Yeah, until we get rid of them like the Canadian penny.
Yeah, that's fair.
See, we should use Canadian pennies for this because they don't mean anything anymore.
Oh, yeah, I didn't realize they'd gotten rid of their penny.
Smart. Yeah.
Yeah.
I only know this because of how close to the border I live.
Ah.
Yeah, no more pennies.
Well, that's the game. That's a penny
We
for
did
my
it.
thoughts. Yay! Thank you so much for playing. I had a very good time with this. I think this was great. I enjoyed playing with you folks and getting this is the first time for both of you on the channel, so it was very neat getting to have this as an introduction. I loved it. I loved your stories. It was great. We're going to go ahead and go around and do our outros. And you can feel free to tell folks where they can find you. Feel free to plug whatever you like. And any final thoughts you had about this session, favorite bits or whatever. And we will start. We're going in reverse order, so we'll start with Kacy.
All right. As I said, or he said, everybody said, I'm Kacy. I make art sometimes, and sometimes you can find it on my art Instagram, which is art for loan payments with an S, and then I have an art Twitter, which is art for loan payment, no S. Those Twitter handles are hard to come by. Yeah, I had fun playing, and I look forward to playing more games.
Hey, thank you so much for going. Awesome. And over to Danielle.
Yeah, so I'm Danielle. You can find me on Twitter at FamousFighter93. I will be very, very soon, hopefully, getting back. What?
Sorry, no, I put in the wrong command. Go ahead.
Oh, okay.
I have multiple Danielles on this channel. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, gotcha. So hopefully very, very soon I will be getting back to Twitch streaming, and you can find me on Twitch at FamousFighter93 as well. I also have a what are those called? Podcast that I run with my partner. That is called Clearfield. If you want to follow us on Twitter, that is at Clearfield Pod. But yeah, that is a mystery and horror podcast, and the audience helps decide the plot with that as well. But yeah, that is about it for me.
Excellent. So that comes back down to me now. Oh, I'm sorry. Did you have? And I'm sorry, I got distracted. Did you have any other final thoughts about the session, or are we good?
The session was great, and yeah.
Oh, cool. Sorry.
That's all.
Sorry, my brain was in two places at once. It was like, wait, I'm prepping. But once again, I'm Jim Ryan. You can find me at OtherDoc on both Twitch and Twitter. My website is jimyesthatjim.com, where you can find my Geek Observation podcast and links to my various other podcasts, audio dramas, writings, and such. I have links down below to my website, Twitter, YouTube channel, and various other things. So tomorrow afternoon, my friend Lucci will be back, and we're going to be just doing our ancient video gamery. We're going to be playing more of Zork 1 as we try to finish gathering all the treasures. And now on Saturdays when we're available, we usually have Invisible Sun. We're not doing that this weekend. We're actually going to be taking a couple of weekends off. As things are getting busy around the end of August, beginning of September, but we will be back a couple of weeks after that, and we're heading toward our finale, so it's going to happen soon. And then on Tuesdays when we have folks available, unfortunately we had real life happen yesterday, but when we can, we have our short campaign of Cult Divinity Lost, run by Hollow, who's really great GM. So do tune in for that if you find yourself at a time when you can do so, if you have an opening. And let's see, right now, today is the last day of signups for our upcoming short campaign of Dune, Adventures in the Imperium. We're going to be trying out the Dune game, and I am excited for it. So you have until basically I wake up tomorrow morning. If you want to sign up for that, so the sign up form is you can go down below and click on RPG sign up, or go to jimyesthatjim.com and click on game sign up. As always, beginners are welcome. So when we hit the end card, we shall send a raid over to somebody. Who shall we send a raid over to? Well, let's see. Lindy is doing that awesome Good Society game that Trooper runs over there.
Good Society is so fun.
Oh,
I
yeah.
like that. Yeah,
we've had such a fun and dramatic campaign. So yeah, we're gonna go ahead and send a raid over to them. Feel free to hang on if you are so inclined and say hi to them with us. That again will be when we hit the end card. In the meantime, folks, thank you all very much for watching. Take care, and we will see you all of a sudden. Farewell.